We're set to go, so let's turn the play-by-play microphone over to the voice of the A's, Monty Moore.
All right, thank you, Robert, and here we go, everybody, with the leadoff batter, Billy Norris, the quick-hitting center fielder for the A's, stepping in. Billy went 0 for 3 yesterday. For the season, Norris batted .273 for the Oakland A's. Reggie Cleveland from Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, Canada, fires the first pitch of the game, and it's a little low, ball one. Cleveland doesn't walk many, and he doesn't strike out many. He walked only 52 batters while striking out 78 in 171 innings this year. The pitch to Norris is up high, ball 2. And Cleveland has his hands on his hips. Both those pitches were close, and Carlton Fisk is complaining already to the plate umpire, Lou DeMille. Bill Norris is a good leadoff man for the A's. He gets on base a lot. He had a total of 143 base hits and add 81 bases on balls to that, and he did get on a lot. Billy led the American League in stolen bases last year with 54. 6 on it outside, ball 3. But this year, due to an injured ankle about mid-season, North stole only 30 bases. Reggie Cleveland is going to have to come up with some strikes now. He is behind 3-0 to North. He'll be taking here. The pitch just strikes called. It's 3-1 now. Bobby Winkles, the third base coach of the A's, relays skipper Alvin Dark signs over to North. Bobby Hoffman coaches at first for the A's. Here's a 3-1 pitch to North. He swings and hits it in the air to straightaway center field. Lynn broke in, but he's going back on the ball now, and he's making the catch. One out. Boy, that's got to be a big one for Reggie Cleveland. He was behind in the count 3-0 and came back, got a strike, and then with a 3-1 count, North was swinging and popped it up to center field. Now here's the A's shortstop. Now some 10 years, Campy Campaneris. Cleveland's pitch to him, swinging a bouncing ball to shortstop. Burleson digs it out. He throws to first base. He got his man, and they're 2 away. There'll be a decided difference in the type of game today. The A's went almost 6 innings yesterday without hitting a ground ball off Louis Tiant. But Cleveland is a sinker ball pitcher, and the A's will hit the ball on the ground a lot against him, I believe. Here's Sal Bando, end of the season batting .229, his lowest mark average-wise since he's been in the big league. But he finished very strongly. He had 15 homers, 78 runs batted in. The pitch to him with a strike call. This Red Sox crowd ready to roar on every good thing that happens for their team today. It's a love affair between the New England fans and the Red Sox here. Pitch is outside to Sal. Cleveland throws a good slider. He tries to keep it away from the right-handed batters in this ballpark. I don't see anyone could do a better job than Tiant did yesterday. Here's a swing and a miss. Bando chased the breaking ball. It was way outside. Hits the ball and 2 strikes now. A's hitters just could not pull Tiant yesterday. The pitch to Bando popped up behind the plate. It's going to be near the stand. It's going to be in the seats, and no play. It's got to be way back in the seats to keep Carlton Fisk off of it. He dived 2 rows deep in there and made a diving catch yesterday. The Boston Red Sox this year had a record against left-handers in this ballpark of 11 wins and only 2 losses. And it's another left-hander, Vida Blue, going against those odds here today. The 1-2 pitch to Bando. Sliced off into the right field corner, foul. Now got filled on that pitch, was actually back on his heels when he swung. Was protecting the plate. He almost dumped one in there. The Red Sox have in Dwight Evans one of the finest defensive outfielders in the game. And he has one of the biggest areas to cover of any outfielder in the game. Right and right center field here at Fenway is big. The pitch to Bando. Fly ball to left. Hit pretty well. It's way back. That ball is going to be off the top of the wall. Yastrzemski plays a hop. Bando goes to second. He's in there with a stand-up double. Sal Bando hit a double off the famous Fenway Park left field wall. It comes with 2 out and brings to the plate Reggie Jackson.
Yastrzemski showed that he knows his business out there in left field, the way he played that ball off the wall. It takes different bounces, different sections of the wall. It was just above the scoreboard and onto the tin portion that covers the 37-foot high wall. So it came almost straight down, and he was right there to get it. Had it hit off the scoreboard, though, it would have taken an entirely different bounce, Lonnie.
He has an uncanny instinct, and he said yesterday after the game, that's what you have to play left field here, and knowing whether the ball is going to hit the wall and where. Here's Reggie Jackson, tied for the American League home run leadership this year for the Oakland A's. He hit 36. He drove in 104 runs. There's a man in scoring position now. The pitch to him is a slider called strike 1. Cleveland got ahead of Bando, but then lost him when he hung a pitch, And Sal drilled it, and Cleveland was lucky that ball didn't go into the stand or into the net for a home run here. Bando down on second. Denny Doyle, the Red Sox second baseman, is actually playing a shallow right field against Jackson. Here's a pitch. High drive, deep right field. That ball is really hit. Jackson just stands. He watches it go completely over the bullpen. The A's lead 2-0 on a tremendous home run by Reggie Jackson. Wow, did he hit that baseball. When Reggie Jackson hit that one, he stood at home plate and watched it go. When a man hits one like that, he ought to stand and admire it, Bob. That's one of the long ones of the year.
Reggie, who had nobody in the American League hit any more home runs than he did, has been fired up for this series. He was held in check yesterday, but they are responding to the challenge today.
Here's Gene Tennyson. He's after a curveball, and it swung on him. Missed. Strike one.
Reggie got a slider that was up. It was also gone.
It was gone from the moment it hit the wood. He crushed the ball. Here's a pitch to Tennis. Strike call. The right field fence here is 380 feet away, right to the bullpen, and the bullpen is about 50 feet wide, so Jackson hit over a 430-foot shot right then. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Tennis. He swings and misses strike three. Cleveland, after throwing the home run ball to Jackson, got Tennis in a hurry on 3 breaking balls in a row. In the top half of the first inning, the Oakland A's got 2 runs. They had 2 hits, nobody left on. And at the end of a half inning of play, the score is the A's 2 and the Red Sox coming to bat. Last half of the first inning, and the top of the Boston Red Sox batting order comes up now. Well, the Red Sox got 2 runs in their first inning yesterday. Vida Blue, who has had a lot of first inning problems in his last few starts this year, is on the mound hoping, along with his teammates and manager Alvin Dark, that he's going to be loose and ready to throw balls hard in the first inning. For some reason, Vida's had a hard time getting loose for the start of the ball game. Here's Juan Benitez, hustling, fine little baseball player for the Boston Red Sox, playing in the absence of their great rookie Jim Rice. Benitez hit .291 for the year. He had 2 hits here last game. The first pitch is bounced out towards Campaneris. The A's shortstop has got it. He fires to Tennis at first base, and there's one away. Benitez, a first ball, fastball hitter, say the scouting reports, has proven that in this series. Now here's Denny Doyle, the second baseman for the Red Sox, who has quite a story to tell this year. And he tells it with statistics. He was playing with the California Angels as their regular second baseman last year, but early in the season, he had 1 hit and 15 at bats and was benched in Anaheim and traded to the Boston Red Sox. And what a year he has had. He's batted .310 for the Red Sox. He hits the first pitch thrown by Vida Blue to Gene Tennis at first base very weakly. Gino's got it, stepped in the bag, and there are 2 down.
Is getting some help here from the Red Sox, too. As you mentioned, most of the Red Sox are first ball hitters. If we'll never know if he's going to be loose in this first inning or not if everybody hits the first pitch.
I was wondering that. I don't know yet whether he's thrown the ball well, but he had it in good spot that time on Doyle. He hit him on the fist, and yesterday Holton picked him outside all day. Now here's Carl Yastrzemski, a .269 hitter for the year with 14 home runs. Vida's pitch is a fastball, and it's thrown pretty well over the outside corner about knee-high for a called strike. Vida Blue won 22 games for the A's this year, lost only 11. The 0-1 pitch. Fastball is up high. He's loose. That ball came in there with great velocity. Ray Fosse, who caught only 82 games for the A's this year, actually didn't catch that many. Behind the plate. Curveball and a good one by Vida. Nails the outside corner on Yastrzemski, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. The A's play Yastrzemski even against Vida Blue as a full hitter. The pitch to him. Bounce over the mound. Campaneris is playing him perfectly. He's got it at second. Throws over to first for the out. So after an inning of play here at Fenway Park, the score is the Oakland A's 2 and the Boston Red Sox nothing. At Fenway Park in Boston, this is Monty Moore with Bob Waller. And we're happy you're with us today. This is a game between the Oakland A's and the Boston Red Sox. Joe Rudy is the leadoff batter for Oakland right now. Joe battling a sore thumb on the left hand. He missed 5 weeks of action because of it. But the A's have nursed him along through that time period and let him play the last week of the season before he hurt it again. And luckily for Joe Rudy and the A's, they did have the 5 days off between the last game of the season and the start of the playoffs. And Joe was able to play again. He had 1 hit here yesterday. Rudy, one of the steadiest, finest players in baseball. Hit .278 for the A's this year at 21 home runs and 75 runs batted in despite missing 5 weeks of the season. won a gold glove as an outfielder in the American League last year. The pitch to him is low and outside from Reggie Cleveland. But Joe has spent most of this season playing first base, and he's done a good job over there.
A little strange where Rico Petrocelli is playing against Rudy, who does not bunt much. He's playing even with a bag at third, and Rico likes to play deep at third to increase his range.
Here's a 1-0 pitch to Rudy, and it's hit right at Rico Petrocelli. He short hops it and throws him out. That was right at him, and a well-timed remark, Bob. And I started to comment the reason he's playing him there is the Red Sox expected Rudy to bunt more with a sore thumb in this series. A couple of years back, Rudy had 21 bunt singles for the season, and they know him around the league as a good bunter, and I suppose Rico must have just thought, well, maybe until he gets a couple of strikes, he may be bunting, but he showed that he can play the short hop anyway.
He was a little fortunate that there wasn't a foot or two to either side of him, or it would have been a very difficult play.
Absolutely. Here's Bodell Washington, the A's designated hitter today, and he hits the first pitch like a shot over into the stands along the right field line foul. Washington, the only A's regular to hit 300 for the year. He hit 308. He had 10 home runs and drove in 77 runs. A left-handed batter with good speed and good power. Cleveland winds and throws. Here's a bouncer hit foul, and he's trying to pull the ball, it looks like, here today off Cleveland. There's a big area in right center field in this ballpark for left-handed hitters to get a lot of base hits. As a matter of fact, everybody talks about Fenway Park as being a right-handed hitter's park. But you look at the batting champions they've had here in this park, they've all been left-handed. The bouncing ball to the shortstop, Burleson. He throws Bodell Washington out there, 2 down. They had Pete Reynolds, a left-handed batter. Ted Williams, a left-hand batter. Carl Yastrzemski, a left-hand batter. All three of those men won batting titles in the American League, playing half their games here in this park. And the reason is they have so much area to shoot for in right and center field. Here's Phil Garner, the A's second baseman. He bunts the ball. It's too close to the mound. Cleveland's got it. Throws him out, and it's 3 up, 3 down. Fast-moving game here in Boston, and in the middle of the second inning, the score is the A's 2 and the Red Sox nothing. In researching a little bit, we found that Reggie Jackson's home run here today was his 5th championship series home run, and that is more than any other player in the American League history has had in playoffs. Of course, he's been in quite a few more playoff games than most any player, except a few from Baltimore. The A's are in their 5th consecutive championship playoff series. In 1971, Baltimore beat the A's 3 straight. In 1972, the A's beat Detroit 3 out of 5. 73, the A's beat Baltimore 3 out of 5. And last year, the A's beat Baltimore 3 out of 4. Here's Carlton Fisk, fine catcher for the Red Sox. He's been injury-prone the last few years. Batted .331 in limited action for Boston this year, and he had a hot September. He takes the first pitch from Vida Blue in there for a strike. Big, strong, right-handed hitter. Vida's pitch to him. The curve fouled off the right side. It's no balls, 2 strikes. This championship series moves to Oakland and the Oakland Coliseum. Next Tuesday night, it'll be 5:30 West Coast time. And for the benefit of the fans out in the West Coast area today, there are still some 6,000 tickets left for Tuesday night's game. Here's another foul ball off the bat of Carlton Fisk. And they're on sale today and will be until 5 o'clock West Coast time tonight at the Oakland Coliseum on the plaza level. So if you're out driving on Sunday after the ball game, it'd be a good time to pick up your tickets for Tuesday night. They're also available for Wednesday and if a game needed Thursday. The pitch to Fisk, swinging, strike 3. Vida's blue blazer goes firing past Carlton Fisk. 1 out, second inning. Cincinnati is leading Pittsburgh today 2-0 on a home run by Tony Perez with Pete Rose on base. Cincinnati won yesterday 8-3 over the Pirates. Here's Fred Lynn, a shoe-in as Rookie of the Year in the American League, maybe the most valuable player. Left-handed hitter, the pitch to him from Vida is low for ball 1. Lynn ended the season his rookie year, hitting .331, 21 home runs, 105 runs batted in. He scored 103 runs, and he swings on a Vida Blue pitch and misses. 1 ball and 1 strike. Graduate of the University of Southern California. The pitch to him is outside the ball. It's 2-1. The A's lead here 2-0. With 2 outs, Sal Bando got a double off the left field wall, and Reggie Jackson on the second pitch to him drilled one way over the Oakland A's bullpen into the bleachers. Pitch still in, swinging, strike two. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. They have the lights on here at Fenway Park. Game started a little bit after 4 o'clock Eastern time, and it's a little cloudy in the area. Ryder takes the sign from Ray Fosse. Keeps looking. Now he has it. Here's the pitch. Just missing low. It's ball 3. Ryder has a little thing he goes through before every game. He gets a handful of dirt and rubs it on the left leg of his white uniform pants. Here's a payoff pitch. Fouled off. In and out of the mid or off the mask of Ray Fosse, Oakland catcher. A lot of the umpires around the league, on the request of other managers, have checked that spot on Vida Blue's pants, figuring that it might be something down there, some kind of foreign substance that he likes to put on his hand and put on the ball, but it's just plain old dirt. I think a superstition, really. Base hit delivery. Fly ball to left field, not hit too deep. Joe Rudy's coming in, closing in on the foul line. He makes the catch, and there are 2 down. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the American League Championship Radio Network. With 2 out in the second inning, and Oakland leading 2-0. Here's Rico Petrocelli, the Red Sox very fine third baseman. Petrocelli ended the season batting .239 with 7 homers and 59 runs batted in. He goes for Vida's first pitch and misses strike 1. One thing for sure about Vida's pitching, he came out of that bullpen with good control today in the early innings. He did get to a 3-2 count on Lynn, but mostly because of a lot of foul balls. There's a call strike on the outside corner. The first pitch to Petrocelli was inside. The second pitch outside on him. And Vida's ahead of him at no balls, 2 strikes. He wheels into the windup and throws the ball right past the swinging Petrocelli, and Vida Blues retires the first 6 Red Sox batters he's faced. And at the end of 2 innings of play, the score is the A's 2 and the Red Sox nothing.
By 1 point, we mentioned
Reggie Cleveland will pitch to Ray Fosse to start the 3rd inning in this ball game, and Bill North and Bert Cavaleras are scheduled to follow. Ray Fosse was a star for the A's in the playoffs last year. He had a home run against the Baltimore Orioles that was a very big one. He threw out a couple of Oriole runners trying to steal in close games because most of those games were close. As a matter of fact, the A's' last 3 victories were 2-1, 1-0, and 5-0. Oakland pitching gave up only 1 run to Baltimore in the last 3 games of the playoffs last year after Baltimore won the first game 6-3. As a matter of fact, Oakland has won the first game of the 5 playoffs they've been in only 1 time. But Fosse lost his job this year due to the lineup switch and the play of Cordell Washington. Ray ended the season batting .141. The pitch to him is fouled away, strike 1. An all-star catcher is a very young player for the Cleveland Indians. Well remembered by most baseball fans as the man who took the brunt of the blast by Pete Rose at home plate on a tremendous collision in an all-star game. Cleveland throws to Fosse. Changeup fouled off towards the Oakland dugout, which is located on the third base side here at Fenway Park. Cleveland ahead of Fosse at no balls, 2 strikes. Neither pitcher has walked the batter as yet. Cleveland throws, and Fosse takes up high, ball 1. During the year, the A's won the West with 98 victories and 64 losses. The Red Sox won the East with 95 wins, 65 losses, and a week of rain. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Fosse hits a grounder towards Petrocelli. It comes up nicely for him near the bag. He throws to first and gets Fosse. 1 out, top of the 3rd, and Bill North is the batter.
number 4. Going on.
North hit a 3-1 pitch in the air to center field in the first inning. It was caught by Fred Lynn. The weather here at this part of the country has been fantastic for baseball the last 2 days. Cleveland pitch to North is a strike call. It's 62 degrees at game time today, but it's going down. One strike on North. Here's the pitch. Fouled away. No balls, 2 strikes. In September, Reggie Cleveland won 4 games and didn't lose any. And in 1 relief appearance, he pitched 5 scoreless innings in a big game against Baltimore. Well, he was red hot during the month of September. I think if you were to have asked the Red Sox Before that month, who would be starting the second game? It would have been Rick Wise. Here's a pitch inside to Billy North. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. As a matter of fact, the last series the A's had here at Fenway Park, pitching for the Red Sox, they thought would be Tiant and White. Pitches outside a ball to North, and it was very close. 2-2. And then everybody figured that Bill Lee, 17-game winner for the Red Sox this year, a left-hander, would start the third game in Oakland. But just before this series started, Carroll Johnson, the skipper of the Red Sox, said that Lee is in the bullpen to stay for the series. 2-2 to North. Ball 3, it's inside.
Lee's had some arm problems, and I think that had something to do with the reason he was so ineffective the last part of the season.
Full count on Bill North. Pitch is on the way, and it's hit into the air to left field. Should be an easy play for Carl Yastrzemski. Right on the warning track, he makes the grab, and they're 2 down. And now the A's little road-running shortstop, Campy Campanera. 6 times the stolen base champion in the American League, but those days are gone with the likes of the youngsters, Mickey Rivers, Billy North won it last year. The A's have on their roster for this series 3 stolen base champions in the American League. Here's a pitch to Campanera, and it's fouled off. They have Tommy Harper, who won it while with Seattle. And he won it again while playing with the Boston Red Sox. And they have Campanera, and they have Billy North, both of whom have won it while playing with Oakland. A lot of speed in the Oakland club. Here's a 1-strike pitch. Campanera takes the fastball high and inside. The score is Oakland 2 and Boston nothing. Reggie Jackson's mammoth home run into the bleachers in right field in the first inning got the 2 runs. The pitch to Campy is high, ball 2. Reggie Cleveland, a javelin champion in Canada when he was growing up, throws a high pitch to Campanera. It's 3-1. On this count, watch Campanera in this ballpark. He's hit some home runs here, and he'll be trying to hit one here probably with a 3-1 count. Little guy hit 22 home runs one season. The pitch to him. Strike gets called. So Cleveland has gone to a 3-2 count on North and again on Campanera. Around comes the arm. Here's his pitch, and it's high, ball 4. So Campanera becomes the first base runner for the A's, and anything like a running situation, Bob, in this series, and Carlson Fisk halfway to the mound, reminding Cleveland probably of that fact.
Yeah, that's true. I would imagine the A's will be as aggressive as possible. Cleveland has a slow release. It takes a long time to get the ball up to the plate, but they might give Bando a pitch or two to see if he can take a shot at the wall here first.
The A's are leading 2-0. Campy Campanera's on at first base. He stole 24 bases this year. Fisk, a fine throwing catcher. Here's a throw to first base. Steeple Cooper plays off the bag into the inside corner against Campanera. Bando doubled off the wall his first time up. Here's the pitch. He swings and misses strike 1. Sometimes you don't try to run yourself out of an inning in this park. By that I mean if you have a Campanera go with a Bando at the plate, you're gambling to get 1 run when you might be able to get 2 if a Bando hits it out. And that's sort of the Fenway Park philosophy. Campy draws a throw and goes back in head first at first base, and he doesn't do that very often. He wasn't that close. He just had the position to do it. 1 strike down on Bando. Cleveland throws to first again, and Campy dives again back in there. The A's for the year stole 183 bases as a team. Second best in the American League. Cleveland holds. He throws to Bando, who hits it deep to left field. It's going to be over the wall or off of it. It's off of it. Campanera's on his way to third. Throws a throw. He hits the dirt. He's out at third base. Carl Yastrzemski made a perfect throw to Rico Petrocelli to nail Campanera at third base. Fantastic play by Yastrzemski. Campanera starting with safe at third base. Yastrzemski put it right on the bag and gets a standing ovation. So the A's do not score in the third inning, and the score remains in the middle of the third, Oakland 2 and Boston nothing. And just
Monty, I hate to keep talking about the wall, but it's a fact of life in this ballpark. In Oakland, Bando's shot may well have cleared the left field fence, but it was a line drive still climbing as it hit that tall 37-foot wall, and Yastrzemski, who plays that wall like a talented musician plays the violin, was right in the right place, got it off the wall in good order, put the perfect throw on to Petrocelli in a close and controversial call at third base.
Yes, it certainly is a good example of what a wall that'll give you a cheap home run once in a while on a high fly ball will also take home runs away from you and turn them into singles. Bando hit that ball as hard as one can be hit almost. A rising liner, as Bob said, and any other park in the country, that ball would have been out of here. Cincinnati leads Pittsburgh 2-0 at the end of one inning of play in the National League playoffs. Vida Blue now pitches to Dwight Evans, a right fielder for the Red Sox. Scored 2-0, Oakland leading. Vida's first pitch to Evans, hit on the ground. Bando steers it, great play, throws to first. I'll tell you, the two third basemen here have made some tremendous plays this afternoon. A hot smash to Bando, who was playing Evans shallow at third base. And now here comes Cecil Cooper, a left-handed hitter who wore the Oakland A's out during the course of the year. He had 3 home runs against Oakland, hit .390 average against the A's, but for the season he hit the ball well against everybody. He was the leading designated hitter in the American League. Cecil Cooper batted .311 for the year with 14 home runs. Vida Blue twists and fires a fastball right in there, strike one. Got the sign. He throws a curveball that's hit in the air to left center field, and nobody's going to get this one. It's going to take one hop and hit the big wall. Bill North plays it. Cooper's got a double. The first base hit of the game for the Boston Red Sox is by Cecil Cooper. The A's have not found a way to get him out all year long. Left or right-hand pitching, it really hasn't made any difference.
Vida has not thrown that many breaking pitches in this ball game, and that was a curve that he went through there, and Cooper jumped all over it.
Here's Darrell Burleson. Rick Burleson. Burleson has hit the ball hard against Oakland this year. Batted .252 for the year with 6 homers and 62 runs batted in, 13 of which he had against the A's. A pitch to him. Drives to right field. It's a base hit. Reggie Jackson plays it on one hop. Cooper goes to third and holds on as Jackson throws the ball to the plate. Ripped one into right field, and the Red Sox now, the tying runner's on, and here's Juan Benitez. Cooper had a real shot at trying to score on that, but he wasn't running when the ball was hit. He was very cautious, and Don Tiller, the third base coach, is over his hockey crew, say, "Watch me, and when I'm waving, you run it." The Oakland A's pitching coach Wes Stock out of the dugout talking to Ray Fosse and Vida Blue. The A's will play their infield back here, hoping for a double play ball. 2-0 Oakland, but the Red Sox have it going here in the third inning. Vida retires the first 7 batters he faced before Cooper ripped a double up the alley in left center, and Burleson drilled one into right. And this Boston crowd is coming alive. Benitez would be tough to double up. He is a fast runner. He cocks the bat. Vida holds and throws. Fouled away. Strike one. Again, he's going for the first pitch. Juan Benitez. He only had 2 home runs this year. 17 runs batted in. But in a series here against the A's early in the year, in May, he had something like 8 base hits. Runners lead first and third. Vida's pitch. Fly ball foul down the line, and right is twisting off into the stands and out of play. What a sight this is to look over into the crowd, and everybody on the right side of the diamond just rising at once to see where the ball is going. Now Bando in to talk to Campaneris. Campaneris goes in to talk to Vida Blue. This is part of the scouting report information that the A's are relaying. This is the kind of scout and the kind of situation where the Red Sox have done some running this year. So Burleson leads off first. Cooper off third. No balls, 2 strikes on Benitez. He's a tough guy to strike out. Vida Blue hesitates. Here's his pitch. Low and inside. Nice stop by Ray Fosse, the catcher, who had to go to his left. He hangs out a sign. And Vida throws. Fouled off back to the screen. Juan Benica said yesterday before the game his knees were shaking. He said until he got to the plate that first time and hit the ball on his first swing, and he hit it well. He hit it right straight to the center fielder for an out. He said that kind of loosened him up a little bit. There's no pressure in baseball to equal that in a playoff. It's such a short series, it means so much to the players. Vida Blue at the count of 1-2 in Benica. He kicks and throws. Just outside, he barely missed with a good one. 2 balls, 2 strikes in Benica. That was Vida's fastball that runs away from a right-handed batter. Cooper has a long lead down the line at third. Vida's paying him no attention at all. Merleson off first base. The 2-2 pitch to the plate. Bouncing ball to shortstop. Campaneris has got it. Down to Garner second. They got him there over to first. Got a pair. Bill Garner with a tremendously turned double play on the throw from Campy Campaneris. And Don Zimmer's complaining to Ron Luciano out at second that Garner came across the bag too early to take the throw. But it's all over here in the third inning. The Red Sox do not score, and after 3 innings of play, it is Oakland 2 and Boston nothing.
Here at Fenway Park, the game is a little bit similar in a couple of respects to the game here yesterday. The score is 2-0, same as it was this time yesterday, but the runs came in a different manner, and a different team has them. The A's got their 2 runs in the first today right off the pop as Reggie Jackson followed a Sal Bando double with a mammoth home run into right field off Reggie Cleveland. And here is Reggie Jackson, who started off in the 4th inning against Reggie Cleveland. Jackson, of course, was the most valuable player in the American League in 1973, the Major League Player of the Year, according to the Sporting News that year. Cleveland comes to the plate with a slider low and away for strike one to Reggie. It was a high slider, looked like about a letter-high slider on the front part of the plate that Reggie drove out of here on the second pitch to him in the 1st inning. Cleveland winds, comes to the plate, hit on the ground and into right field for a base hit. Jackson's on the ball today. And the A's are right on Reggie Cleveland, at least Bando and Tennis. Or rather, Bando and Jackson as Tennis steps to the plate. A's have 4 hits. A single and a double by Bando. A home run and a base hit by Reggie Jackson, who's on at first as Gene Tennis steps in. Jackson is a good base runner. And the A's are an aggressive base-running team. Jackson's got a big lead over there. He's not going as the pitch comes in low to Gene Tennis. Tennis was the American League Player of the Month in September. He had a game-winning hit off Reggie Cleveland earlier this year. In a ball game, the A's beat Cleveland 3-2. Going into the 7th inning, Cleveland had a no-hitter going and 2 outs when Reggie Jackson hit a home run. Here's the pitch to Dennis. He starts to swing and holds up. 2 balls and no strikes. In that game, the Cleveland pitch where he had the no-hitter going, Jackson with 2 outs in the 7th inning hit a home run off of him. Billy Williams followed with a single, and then Dennis hit another home run. And those were the only hits that the A's got that day. But all they needed off Reggie Cleveland to beat him 3-2. Jackson has the lead at first. Here's the pitch to Tennis. Hit on the ground to Petrocelli. He's got it. Goes to second for one. Look out. There's the double play. Throw back. And we got to check Denny Doyle because Jackson really rolled him up at second. But Doyle made the play. A fine play by Doyle. And he took a hard shot from Jackson. As they both get up off the ground, they congratulate each other, and everything's all right. Jackson returns to the dugout, and the bases are empty with 2 down. Petrocelli starts the long double play. And here's Joe Rudy, who's in left field today. Cincinnati leading Pittsburgh 2-0 at the end of 2 innings on a home run by Tony Perez with Pete Rose on board. Rudy had 130 hits in 126 regular season games for the A's. Takes the pitch outside from Reggie Cleveland. He hit .370 against the Boston Red Sox this year in 8 ball games. Rudy missed 35 games this year with a sore thumb caused by trying to stop his swing on a Louis Tiant pitch earlier this season. There's a pitch low to Joe Rudy. 2-0. Reggie Cleveland yells down to the plate what was on. We could hear him up here. You may have even heard him on our crowd noise, Mike. Yelling low with a question mark on the end. And he went to the rosin bag, fiddled with that, and then slammed it down in the dirt. Now he looks into Carlson Pitts for the sign. He's got it. He winds. Throws. There's a pop foul out of play. So Joe Rudy going after the 2-0 pitch, got a breaking pitch, and fouled it back. Reggie Cleveland has a very good, quick-breaking slider. His fastball sinks a lot. He has a curveball. He doesn't throw that a lot, although he's had pretty good control of it the 3 or 4 times he's thrown it in this ball game. 2 balls and a strike. The pitch to Rudy. Line drive, left field, down the line. Base hit. Yastrzemski over in a hurry. Rudy rounds first. He's going to dig for second. Here's Yaz's throw. It'll be a close play. Rudy slides. He's safe. Yastrzemski with another fine play in left field. And another strong throw, but Rudy pulling hard beats the throw for the double. Cole and Moret are in the bullpen warming up, and out of the dugout pops Red Sox manager Darrell Johnson. Got a warm-up jacket on and is walking slowly, determined towards the mound. And meets Carlson Fisk and Reggie Cleveland there. Rudy ripped the line drive about 10 feet inside the left field line. Yaz goes over in that corner. We can't see the corner from here. But having messed around in the outfield earlier this season, I can tell you that that ball does weird things in that corner as well. Johnson returns to the Red Sox dugout. And Cleveland looks in to see Claudell Washington standing in the batter's box, waving his bat and waiting on him. He takes a look at Rudy and throws low with a sinking fastball. Ball 1 to Claudell Washington, who is the designated hitter today. Billy Williams not in the lineup, and Claudell not in left field. Joe Rudy is in scoring position at second base. The pitch to Claudell is down low. The A's lead it by a couple. 2 balls and no strikes to the amazing Wash, Claudell Washington. This season, Claudell Washington never went more than 3 consecutive games without a base hit. The pitch to it. Line to left center field. This will be a tough play for Lynn. He's on the run. He dives. He can't get it. It's by him. A run will score. Washington into second as Yastrzemski retrieves the ball. Freddie Lynn going far to his right, back on the warning track with a dive. He was caught up to the ball, but as he dove, it went under his glove and rolled to the wall, where Yastrzemski quickly pounced on it and got it back in. But for Washington, it's a double to drive in Rudy. And the A's must be happy to see somebody who pitches in an orthodox style after trying to solve Louis Tiant unsuccessfully yesterday. They get a guy who delivers the baseball in a more orthodox manner, and they feed off on him with 6 hits. 3 of them doubles, 1 of them a home run. And they lead now 3-0 as Phil Garner waits on the first pitch. Here's the pitch to Garner. It's a little low. Ball 1. Darrell Johnson, manager of the Red Sox, up on the bottom step of the dugout, leaning on one knee, staring out at the action. Here's a pitch to Garner, hit on the ground, left side of the infield. Burleson in the hole, has it, throws long, and gets his man at first base to end the inning. But the A's had a run. They had 3 hits, and they leave a runner. They go to the bottom of the 4th inning. The score, Oakland 3 and Boston nothing. Vida Blue completing his warm-up tosses. He's had good stuff on his fastball, has good control, and has kept it low. He has not thrown all that many breaking pitches today. And one of the hits by Cecil Cooper in the 3rd inning, a double, came off his curveball. 1975 was kind of a rough year for managers, even more hardship for managers than normal. You look at all the guys who started the year and never made it through the season. In their managerial post in the American League, there were 5 guys. Del Crandall and Bill Burton in New York. Del Crandall of Milwaukee. Frank Quillisi in Minnesota. Billy Martin in Texas. And Jack McKeon at Kansas City. McKeon, incidentally, is the man who wrote the book on the Boston Red Sox for the A's. He scouted the Red Sox for the Oakland A's the last month of the season and compiled the information that the A's are basing their plan of attack. Here's Denny Doyle, the second baseman, the left-handed hitting second baseman, takes the pitch outside from Vida Blue, ball 1. Sal Bando right at the infield grass at third base. As the pitch comes in for a called strike. And there was a breaking pitch from Vida, and see Doyle shake that front leg as the ball started towards him, and then it broke across the plate. There's another curve popped up behind second base. Garner on the run. He can't get it. He's in there for a hit. Doyle holds on at first as Garner runs the ball in. He had a little problem with that ball. After it hit, it took a funny bounce as he was running with his back to home plate. And when he got his glove on it, it popped back out of his glove. And Doyle took a step towards second, an extra step, but then retreated to first. He's there with a base hit. Carl Yastrzemski comes to the plate. Yastrzemski has had quite a ball game defensively so far today. He's had a lot of action out there in left field. Played a couple of balls off the wall, threw one runner out, threw Campaneris out, trying to go from first to third on a line drive off the wall. Hit by Sal Bando. Runner at first, nobody out. They're not holding the runner at first. Yaz hits it deep to left field. We could have a tie ball game. This ball's in the net. Home run. Carl Yastrzemski puts one into the net. And it's a 3-2 ball game. The A's lead 3-2 as Yastrzemski puts one up on the wall. And gets the Red Sox right back in the thick of things. Vida Blue walking around behind the mound. I'll give you a station break in just a little bit as Carlton Fisk steps in. An opposite field home run for Yastrzemski. He had 14 homers during the regular season, 2 of them off the A's. Here's the pitch now to Fisk. He swings and misses at a sinking fastball. Strike 1. The first time this year that Yastrzemski has hit one into the left field net. Fisk with a weak swing, trying to go to right field, and Vida had the good fastball by him before he could complete his swing for a strike. 2 strikes. The count on Carlton Fisk. Whips one to left field. It's up the alley and off of the wall. He's on his way to second. Here's the throw from Billy North. It's wide at second base, and Fisk has a double. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the American League Championship Radio Network. Bob Waller and Monty Moore here at Fenway, where the fans are on their feet booing. And they're booing because A's pitching coach Red Sox has gone out to talk to Vida Blue as Jim Todd starts to throw in the Oakland bullpen. Vida was going along in great style through the first 3 innings. He was backed by one good defensive play on a double play ball to end the 3rd inning. But here in the 4th, they ripped him hard. Doyle had a single. Yastrzemski pounded one into the nets in left field. And now Fisk has doubled. He's on at second for Fred Lynn. Pickoff play was on at second, but Vida did not throw. Campy was standing on the bag waiting for the ball, and with all the noise, Fisk could not hear his third base coach yelling for him to get back. But Vida didn't hear it in time either. Lynn squares the bunt, takes the fastball low. Lynn, in spite of his impressive offensive credentials, has been known to bunt. He bunted for a base hit against the A's earlier. Of course, here, the Red Sox, with nobody out, would like to get that runner to third, where a fly ball would score it. and tie the ball game. Here's the pitch to Lynn. Fine. Bando on the ground and into left for a base hit. The runner will not be able to score as Rudy comes up with the ball. A single to left for Freddie Lynn, and 4 hits in a row for the Red Sox. Vida slams the rosin bag down at the mound, and here comes Alvin Dark. Right now, he's going to go to Jim Todd, his sinker ball specialist, and hopes to get a double play out of here and kill this big inning. The second trip to the mound, and Vida is out automatically. Vida walking around, he does not want to go. He will leave with a lead. Raleigh Fingers pops up out of the A's dugout, where he's been watching the first portion of the game, and takes off in a trot towards the bullpen. So we have a break in the action. Let's pause for half a minute. Jim Todd takes over now from Vida Blue. Here in the fourth inning, Vida was cruising along after 3, but in the fourth, and wasn't able to get anybody out except himself, because the Red Sox really teed off on him. They got back into the fat part of the order for the second time. The numbers 3, 4, and 5 hitters, as well as the number 2 hitter, Denny Doyle. Smashed little ropes all over this place, except for Yastrzemski. That was no little rope. That was a blast into the net in left field. If you're not familiar with Fenway Park, there is a screen or netting above the wall. And it keeps the baseballs from going and breaking windows in the buildings behind the left field fence. And it catches a lot of the shots that are hit out that way. Jim Todd was in yesterday's game and faced one man. That was Juan Benitez, who got a base hit off of it and eventually came in to score. Todd is a sinker ball specialist. He won 8 games and saved 12 others for the A's. Lindblad and Raleigh Fingers are throwing in the bullpen. The A's bullpen against Boston won 3 games, was never beaten during the regular season, and had 4 saves. Todd comes in leading 3-2. But there are 2 out and nobody out. A runner at first and another one at third. Fisk at third. Lynn at first. Petrozelli steps in. Here's Todd's first pitch. Over the top. Ground ball to Campy. He's got it. The second one. Garner's throw. Double play. A run comes in. But Todd gets that double play he was called on to get. As Campaneris, with those very quick reflexes of his, with one quick step to the right, got the ball and started the double play. Meanwhile, Fisk trotted down the line at third to tie the ball game. Here's Dwight Evans. 2 down, bases empty. Tony Wine throws and is fouled back. Of Todd's 12 saves this year came against the Boston Red Sox. In one game, he went 6 in the 3rd inning against the Red Sox in relief. Allowed 5 hits and only 1 run, retired the last 12 men he faced. And the A's went on to win 7-6 in 10 innings as Raleigh Fingers got the victory. With a slider for a ball and a strike now. To Evans was a little wide. Dwight Evans, tall right-handed hitter. Pitch from Todd, hit on the ground towards Campy. He charges it, has the ball, throws to first, and he's got Evans. The inning is over. So Todd on 4 pitches shuts the door on the Red Sox. But the damage off Vida Blue was too much as far as the A's are concerned. The score at the end of 4 innings. Boston 3 and Oakland 3. Reggie Cleveland still out there for the Red Sox. But he's in a must-perform situation now. They've got Roger Moret, the left-hander, and Cole, the right-hander, warming up in the Boston bullpen as the inning starts. Dick Cole and Roger Moret are working out there. Well, the Red Sox has fought back and chased Vida Blue. Now they're into what the Red Sox were worried about most, the A's bullpen. Here's Ray Fosse to lead it off. Here's the pitch to Fosse as a strike called. Off a high slider from Reggie Cleveland. He's got 2 in the first and 1 in the fourth. There's a curve called strike 2 on Fosse, who started after it and then held up. Both of those pitches were up high in the strike zone to Fosse, who hit 141 during the regular season. Pitch outside. A ball and 2 strikes. Fosse used to be quite an offensive ball player. Hit 307 one year with 18 home runs. That was in 1970. Then a fellow by the name of Pete Rose collided with him in the All-Star game. There's a pitch fouled off. Going over by the Red Sox dugout is Cecil Cooper, but it's back behind the dugout and he's got no play. Fosse claims that once he was in that collision at home plate, he started to lose some of his offensive ability. And then, of course, he injured his back breaking up a fight in the clubhouse, in the A's clubhouse. And that also took away a lot of his offensive talent. Swings and misses at a good fastball from Cleveland, who strikes him out. Here's Billy North. Tie ball game. And the A's may choose to go to a little speed, try and perhaps bunt their way on. Cecil Cooper way off the bag at first base, giving the right field line to North. A left-handed hitter in this situation. He takes a pitch knee high on the outside part of the plate for a called strike. A quick breaking slider from Reggie Cleveland. The big right-hander comes to the plate again, and North takes it up high. 1-1. Third baseman Rico Petrocelli is very close to the line at third and right on the infield grass. North runs up the bunt and takes the pitch high. 2-1. Now Cooper has moved a little bit closer to first base. North rips one foul down the left field line and out of play. 2-2. Reggie Cleveland, 13-9 this year for the Red Sox. Goes into his motion, throws a slowly hit ground ball to the shortstop Burleson. He throws and gets North by half a step. 2 away, and here's Bert Campaneris. He's bounced out and he's walked. And in the third inning was cut down trying to go from first to third on a line drive by Sal Bando off the wall in left field that Yastrzemski played perfectly and made the perfect throw to third. Cleveland throws, it's in there for a strike. Campy ducked back out of the way of that pitch and it caught the inside corner about letter high. Cecil Cooper in shallow at first. Petrocelli even with a bag at third. Campy pops it up left side. Rico is there and in fair territory makes the catch. The A's are out in order here in the 5th inning. At the end of 4.5 innings, the score is Oakland 3.
Once again, the signs are out in Norman's fifth.
Evans on a ground out. Here is Cecil Cooper. And the A's just had not been able to get this guy out all year. He was the leading Red Sox hitter against the A's with a .393 average during the regular season. And he had 11 hits in 8 games. He's had 2 hits so far in the playoffs. Pitch to him is outside. One was here today. There's only trip to the plate, a double to the base of the wall in left center field. There's a pitch to Cooper, strike call with a fastball on the outside corner from Todd. A ball and a strike. Billy North, the center fielder, is playing a couple of steps towards left field against the left-handed hitting Cooper. That's where his double went last time in left center. There's a pitch outside. Cooper has a big hole in right center field. And a lot of territory out there. 2 balls and a strike to Cooper. Todd into his motion, throws, just misses the outside corner. Stands there with his hands on his knees, looking in. 3 balls and a strike to Cooper. Lindblad and Fingers throwing again for the A's. Here's Todd's pitch, fouled off on a check swing. Cooper walks around outside the batter's circle. Cecil may have crossed it. He just fouled off ball 4. Instead, it's 3 balls and 2 strikes to Cooper. Todd winds, throws. There's a drive, right field, base hit. Jackson over to his right quickly. Cuts the ball off, falls down in a heap. Cooper runs towards second. Here's the throw. Jackson gets it into the infield too late. A double for Cecil Cooper. His second of the ball game. As we told you, there was a big hole in right center field, and that's where the ball went. Alvin Dark is out to make a pitching change. Jim Todd is out of the ball game, and the buzzards coming in. Raleigh Fingers. We have a break in the action, so let's pause for half a minute. So Raleigh Fingers, known affectionately by his teammates as the Buzzards, is on. This is the man that the Red Sox management and players have been talking about, the guy that they were most concerned about. Well, they wanted to get in the situation of getting a couple of runs early to keep Fingers out of the ball game, but the A's had their backs to the wall in this ball game, and they want Fingers in here right now. I've had the pleasure of broadcasting every game the A's have played this year, and for the life of me, I can't recall Fingers ever coming into a ball game in the 5th inning. Nobody out. And the go-ahead run on at second base in a tie ball game brings Raleigh Fingers, the 29-year-old relief specialist of the Oakland A's, into the ball game. He'll hit the big 3-0 next August. Raleigh worked 124 and 2/3 innings in 75 games for the Oakland A's. He had 10 victories and 6 defeats and 24 saves. Raleigh equates 20 saves with 20 wins for a starting pitcher. Was the most valuable player in the World Series last year. He is a money pitcher, and he has his work cut out for him here against a very determined and aggressive Red Sox ball club. Rick Burleson comes to the plate. Burleson had a base hit to right field. His only trip to the plate. That came off Vida Blue, who started the game. They have a runner at second, and they may try to punt him over there with Burleson. Bando is stepped in on the grass at third, and Dennis a couple of steps in at first base. Cooper is on at second, and Campy is staying close to him there. There's the bunt attempt on. It's bunted foul back to the screen in self-defense by Burleson, who ends up flat on his back in the batter's box as he tried to get out of the way of a high inside pitch that was riding in on him. Now the A's had a play on there. They had Campaneris standing on the bag at second behind the runner, and Bando staying back at third for a possible play at third. Now Fosse wants to go out and talk to Raleigh Fingers. There may have been a mix-up in the defensive coverage there, because usually when the shortstop breaks behind a runner at second, he's going to get the ball from the pitcher on a pickoff attempt. The lead is very short at second base right now for Cecil Cooper. Campy standing right behind him. The pitch out is on, but Fosse does not throw back behind the runner. A ball and a strike to Burleson. Well, they have cut down some on the lead by Cooper. Here's the pitch. It's low in the dirt, and Fosse blocks it as Cooper returns to second. 2 balls and a strike. on Rick Burleson. He looks down at Don Zimmer, who runs the side. First base coach for the Red Sox is Johnny Pesci. Had many fine years playing in this ballpark. 2 balls and a strike. Fingers comes to the plate. The ball is bunted hard towards the third baseman Bando. He's got only one play. He makes it to first. Very good bunt by Burleson. Bando wanted to lay back on that for a possible play at third base. But the ball was bunted too hard for Raleigh Fingers to make a play on. It was bunted by the pitcher, and it forced Bando to go to his left and handle the bunt, leaving third base unprotected. So the go-ahead run for the Red Sox is now on at third with 1 out. And the leadoff hitter, Juan Benitez, at the plate. Benitez against Vida Blue made 3 outs in 2 tries. He bounced to the shortstop once and then again. In the third inning, he hit into a double play started by Campaneris. The A's bring their infield in now. And stepping out is Juan Benitez. Here's the first pitch to Benitez. He has a full cut and fouls it back. Home runs that Raleigh gave up to the Boston Red Sox in 17 innings pitched against them this year was hit by Benitez here in this ballpark. Bando fakes over towards third to hold the runner in, and the pitch is swung on and missed by Benitez, the slider from Raleigh. 2 strikes to count on Juan Benitez. It's 291 for the regular season, but 321 against the Oakland A's. Raleigh looks into his sign from Fosse, comes set at the belt, throws, fly ball, short right field. They may have a play. Jackson makes the catch. Here comes the throw. Here comes the runner. It is out at the plate. Reggie Jackson throws out Cecil Cooper on a fly ball to medium right field. And the ball game remains tied. At the end of 5 innings, the score is Oakland 3 and Boston 3.
1 away, men on second and third, and the Reds lead 3-1. And we'll keep you abreast what goes on there. But right now, Pittsburgh coming to bat as we come back to our ball game in the top of the 6th. Oakland and Boston all tied up 3-3. The A's coming up.
The go-ahead run at the plate on a fine throw to turn in a double play to end the 5th inning. And poor Juan Benitez has now been to the plate 3 times and been responsible for 5 outs. Hit into 2 double plays. 1 conventional and 1 on the good play by Reggie Jackson in deep right field. Not deep, about medium right field. Jackson positioned himself very well and was coming in on the ball, made the catch, took 1 extra step, and uncorked a 1-hopper right to Ray Fosse at the plate. And Fosse put the tag on the sliding Cecil Cooper. And Benitez has now ended 2 innings with double play. Sal Bando will lead it off against Reggie Cleveland. Bando is 2 for 2 against Cleveland. A double and a single. His single was a ball that probably would have been a home run in Oakland and would have been a home run just about any ballpark in the league except this one. Here's the pitch to Bando. The slider blown away, ball 1. He ripped one that was still rising as it got to the close-in left field fence here. He cuts after a pitch and changes his mind, takes it low. 2-0 to Bando. Yastrzemski played the carom perfectly and whipped the throw into third base to throw out Campaneris and end the inning after Bando's base hit. Bando rips another one deep to left field, way back up against the wall. Yastrzemski picks it up. He throws to second, and Bando retreats to first. Boy, that Yastrzemski could do it. So can Bando. That's his 3rd hit. And that one had a chance to be out of here anywhere else. Instead, Bando's on at first. Darrell Johnson is out to the mound, and Reggie Cleveland undoubtedly is in a good deal of jeopardy of being yanked from this game. Well, the jeopardy is ended. He is out of here. They want the left-hander, Roger Moret. Bando was 3 for 3 against Reggie Cleveland. And Reggie Jackson is due up next, the left-handed hitter, who was 2 for 2 against Reggie Cleveland, one of them a home run. And now they're going to go to Roger Moret. Moret is a hard-throwing left-handed pitcher. A slender guy who won 14 ball games for the Boston Red Sox and lost only 3, but one of those losses was to the Oakland A's. And an earned run average of 3.60 in 145 innings pitched. Struck out 80, walked 76, with 132 base hits in 145 innings. On August 11th, the A's beat him 4-3. Vida Blue with a win. Jim Todd with a save, with relief help also from Raleigh Fingers and Paul Lindblad. And there's a hand now for Reggie Cleveland. Most teams are now into their bullpen. Most baseball people feel the A's have the best bullpen in baseball, if not the American League, and therefore a decided advantage in this type of situation. But Moret, most of the time, was the starter. When you figure their bullpen, you don't hear the name too much of Roger Moret. He has a fastball, a curveball, and a changeup. But if you stick around looking for the curveball and the changeup, you may wait for a long time, because he throws almost 80% fastball. He comes right over the top, and the ball sinks as it gets to the plate. Now Denny Doyle has just flipped off his sunglasses and flipped them over to the first base umpire, Bill Kunkel. No need for that here. The sky is 90% overcast, and the lights have been on since about the second inning. Now Moret has finished his warm-up tosses. Reggie Jackson steps in. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the American League Championship Radio Network. Bob Waller and Monty Moore at Fenway Park in game number 2 of the American League Championship Series. Boston won the first game, a sloppy contest, 7-1. Moret, before he throws the pitch to Jackson, makes a move to first base, throws it over there, but Bando is back. Here's the pitch to Jackson. Drive to right field. Coming in quickly is Evans. He catches it knee high. And Bando has to retreat to first base. Right Evans. The good running catch of the ball hit hard right at him. A low line drive. And of course Evans playing very deep in right field against Jackson. And a long run to come in and grab it. Here's Gene Tennis now. Tennis 0 for 2. Band, and he's hit into a double play. He was 0 for 3 in the first game yesterday against Louis Tiant. Moret throws a little blur. A fastball low. Ball 1. Moret has a high leg kick, and he falls off to the mound on the third base side. Cooper, the first baseman, holding against Bando, who has a safe lead over there. Here's the pitch to Tennis. It's bounced foul down the third baseline. A ball and a strike to Gino. The A's, the last 2 years, have lost the first game of the championship series, only to come back and win it. They need this victory here today to tie it up and send them back to their own ballpark for the final games of the series. There's another foul ball bounced wide of third base coach Bobby Winkle. The Red Sox would be in an almost unbeatable stance if they get this game. A ball and 2 strikes. to Gene Tennis, we're tied. Bando on it first. Here's the pitch to Tennis, way outside. Pitch flips the throw to first. Tennis is back just in time, or rather Bando is, as he rolls in. Head first. In front of that snap throw by Carlton Smith. This is a catcher who will throw to any base in any situation at any time. You have to stay alert. Here's the pitch. Just misses. A little bit low. Full count now to Tennis. At Riverfront at the end of 4, Cincinnati 4, Pittsburgh 1. Moret comes to the belt. Bando bouncing around at first base. As the pitch comes in, pops foul, first base side. Cecil Cooper has a play on this ball, and he makes it. 2 down. And here's Joe Rudy. Rudy doubled to the left field corner. His last trip to the plate off Reggie Cleveland. He's 1 for 2 in this ball game, has scored a run. The double came with 2 outs and was followed immediately by a double by Claudell Washington. Moret takes off his Red Sox cap, wipes his brow, puts it back on. As Rudy positions himself in the batter's box. Spread out stance. Bando off to a lead at first. There's a pitch to Rudy. Line drive hit the right center. This is going to be a lot of trouble for Lynn. He cuts it off nicely in the hole. They're going to have to hold Bando at third base. As Rudy doubles to right center field, and it was a fine play by Freddie Lynn. If that ball got through, Bando for sure would have scored. And Rudy would at least be at third and maybe more. But Lynn got over there very quickly. The ball took 1 hop and came up very high, almost went over the head of Freddie Lynn. But he stayed with it and made the play. So the A's now have runners at second and third with 2 down. And Claudell Washington coming to the plate. Against Reggie Cleveland, Washington was 1 for 2, drove in a run with a double his last time up. He is the designated hitter today. Billy Williams not in the lineup. Williams for the season has hit 163 against Boston Red Sox pitching. Bando faking down the line at third. The pitch to Washington. Curveball outside, ball 1. And Claudell had all kinds of problems with the left field wall defensively yesterday. So they put Rudy in left today and made Claudell the designated hitter. Here's the pitch to him inside, a fastball. 2-0. Bill Garner is the on-deck hitter. A's with 2 runners in scoring position in a tie ball game with 2 outs. Here in the 6th inning, the pitch to Claudell fouled off out of play. Got 2 runs in the first on a home run by Reggie Jackson. They added another run in the 4th inning on Claudell double to score Joe Rudy. And at that point, led 3-0. But the Red Sox fired back in the bottom of the 4th to chase Vida Blue. It's 3 runs of their own. There's a bouncing ball up the middle. Tough play for Burleson. He makes it to first, and the inning is over. Well, the A's don't cash in on a good opportunity, leaving 2 runners, and at the end of 5.5 innings of play, the score is Oakland 3 and Boston 3. Denny Doyle will open it up for the Red Sox in the bottom of the 6th against Raleigh Fingers. Fingers coming into the ball game in the 5th inning and doing quite a job. The runner at second and nobody out. And the ball game tied. The Red Sox could not score. It took a fine defensive play by Reggie Jackson in right field. A throw to the plate to cut down. Cecil Cooper trying to score on a fly ball and end the inning. Now the Red Sox fans come alive as Doyle steps in. Fingers nods agreement with a sign from Fossey. Goes into his windup, throws a curve for a strike. Started that one off on the outside part of the plate. Well, it looked like it was going to be outside, but by the time it got to the plate, it was knee-high on the inside corner. There's a one-strike pitch from Fingers. There's a fastball for a strike on the outside corner, high and away from Doyle. And the Red Sox second baseman steps out for a handful of dirt. Fingers, outwardly unflappable, staring in for the sign. Throws and just misses the outside corner with a fastball. A ball at 2 strikes. Tried to tempt Doyle, but then he held off. Now Raleigh goes back into his motion, throws a curve, and misses inside. And did not miss by much. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Louis Tion, the Red Sox dugout, resting against one of the metal supports there, standing up watching the game. What a performance he had here yesterday. The 2-2 pitch, lined right to the A's second baseman, Phil Garner. And there's one down. An ovation for Carl Yastrzemski. Yastrzemski has had an outstanding day today. Offensively, he hit a 2-run opposite field home run off Vida Blue to put the Red Sox on the scoreboard and back in the ball game. Defensively, he's been superb in left field. There's a slider for a called strike. That time, Raleigh started him off with a letter-high slider. Fingers goes to work, deals a fastball low. 1-1. Both bullpens quiet now. The A's will go with Fingers for a long while. They've already used Todd. Of their big 3 in the bullpen, that leaves only Paul Lindblad. A ball and a strike to Yastrzemski. Here's Fingers' pitch. Fastball drilled deep to left field. Way back goes Rudy. He can't get to this. It's off the wall. Comes right back to him. Yastrzemski on his way to second. The throw is not inside. A double off the left field wall for Yastrzemski. What a game he is having. Here's Carlton Fisk. Uncorked a strong throw. It was low and a little bit to the left at second base, but when the ball came off the wall, it came straight down, which I think Joe was kind of expecting. It looked like he had positioned so it would take only a short bounce off that wall, but when it hit the ground, it came up very high and almost bounced over his head. He had to jump up to get it, and that split second made a difference in the play at second base. Here's Fisk, and he takes the curve outside, ball 1. This did not play in any of the games between these 2 clubs that were here in Fenway Park this year. He got in only 4 games, all in Oakland. Here's the pitch to him. Another curve outside, 2-0. This steps out for a minute. 1 for 2, has a double and has scored a run. Scored the run that tied the ball game. There's the pitch outside, 3-0. Fisk, when he scored that run, came in on a double play. 3-0 to Fisk. Pudge, as they call him here. Here's a pitch to him, a tall strike with a slider. is on at second, goes into his lead. Phil Garner fakes a break over towards second. Here's the pitch. Line drive into left center field. A hit. Yastrzemski pulling towards home. He'll make it. And North brings the ball back into second. And the Red Sox lead 4-3. What a comeback by the Red Sox, who were down by 3 runs in the 4th inning, facing the guy that they have had very little success this year against, Raleigh Fingers. And they get the go-ahead run here. Alvin Dark is out to talk to Raleigh Fingers, but it's just that. It's a talk. He's not going to make a move. There is no activity in the A's bullpen. Fifth lining a pitch into left center field to put the Red Sox ahead here in the 6th inning. What a big win this would be for Boston. Here's Fred Lynn. Fisk has done some running. He has better than average speed for a catcher. Although the Red Sox prefer to play hit and run rather than just go out and try and swipe a base. Here's the pitch to Lynn inside. Ball 1, a breaking pitch. Tried to keep it in on his hands, but got it too far inside. The third baseman way off the bag against the left-handed hitter. And in shallow. The outfield straight away for Lynn. Here's Fingers' pitch. Bouncing ball right to Tennis. He's got it. Goes to second for 1. Campy's return throw in time. Double play as the A's turn in their 4th double play of the day. And 3 of them have ended innings. At the end of 6 innings of play, the score is Boston 4 and Oakland 3. The A's, who are in a position here where they're going to use everybody in uniform today, are making a move right now. Tommy Harper is going to lead off this inning instead of the listed hitter, Phil Garner. So Harper becomes a pinch hitter to open the 7th inning against Roger Moret. Garner was 0 for 2 while he was up there. Here is Tommy Harper. The A's trail by a run. They've just announced today's attendance, and as you might have guessed, it's the same attendance as yesterday, 35,578. That does not count the 80-some people on the advertising billboard that are watching this game for free, and the dozens more that are on rooftops around this ballpark. This is not their largest crowd of the year, and the reason why is because of the large number of news media people who are here covering this event. They have occupied many of the seats that normally would be sold. They had a larger crowd for an important game against the Boston Orioles, the Baltimore Orioles this year here in Boston. Now Harper steps in. He hit .319 for the A's this year after they acquired him from the California Angels for the season. He hit .254. Against There's a pitch to him low, ball 1. Against the Red Sox, while with the A's, he had 1 home run. That was here at Fenway into the net. Of course, he used to play here. There's a curveball outside for Moret. 2-0 now to Tommy Harper. A guy with good speed and an excellent base runner, former American League stolen base champion. 2-0 pitch to Harper. Fastball for a strike. Moret ran that fastball away from the right-handed hitter. Made a good pitch. Here's the 2-1. It's in the dirt. 3 balls and a strike. Harper steps out to take a look at Bobby Winkle. Falls off the mound towards the third base side. Harper, who's a good bunter, has got the second baseman playing back in short right field against him. He takes the pitch up high, ball 4. Way high from Moret. So Harper is on base, and look out here. He stole more bases in one season than any American leaguer since Ty Cobb. And Darrell Johnson, who's making his way out to the mound for the Red Sox, points to his right arm. He's going to make a pitching change now, with Ray Fosse at the plate. We have a break in the action, so let's pause for half a minute. Managerial wheels spinning in abundance here. Dick Drago is being brought in from the bullpen, a right-hander. Ray Fosse has been called back, and Billy Williams is in the on-deck circle. Well, that's not exactly correct. He's in front of the dugout, and he is having a conference with manager Alvin Dark, third base coach Bobby Winkles, and the runner at first, Tommy Harper, who now returns to first base. Billy Williams comes up off the bench. With Harper on at first. And the new pitcher, Drago, into the ballgame, who's been their most effective right-hand relief pitcher. He's been the main man for the Red Sox. For a while, it was Jim Willoughby. But Drago has saved 15 games for the Red Sox this year. He's worked 72 and 2/3 innings, allowed 5 home runs and 69 hits in that time, with just 31 walks, at a 3.84 earned run average. Throws a fastball, a slider, and a forkball. But like Moret, he relies heavily on his fastball. Had 7 saves in the last 3 weeks of the season. And normally will go right after a hitter with his fastball as soon as he comes into the ballgame. So Billy Williams, the second A's pinch hitter of the inning. Harper drew a walk. He was successful. He's on at first. Ray Fosse, who started the game as the catcher in this position in the lineup, went 0 for 2. Now he is out of the game, and the A's will need another catcher. And that means Gene Tennis will move down from first base behind the plate, and it looks like Jim Holt loosening up in the bullpen to come into play first base in the bottom of the 7th inning. Whist, which is the nickname of Billy Williams, steps in. Call him Whist from his hometown of Whistler, Alabama. Tommy Harper has a good lead at first base. Drago throws over there. Harper dives back ahead of the tag by Cecil Cooper. Harper, when he stands, does not stand parallel to a line between first and second. He faces the pitcher. He stands a little sideways, which is easier for him to get back. As the throw goes over there, he gets back in time. It eliminates that crossover step for Harper. He does not really have a crossover step. It takes him a little longer to get going, but he gets a big lead. Draws another throw. Drago is yet to come to the plate. And Harper 3 times has been back head first. This ball game has been a good, well-played ball game in contrast to yesterday's debacle. Here's the pitch to Williams. He takes it low. Fastball, ball 1. Harper opens up his lead a little more at first, a little more. Bluffed a little start towards second, but he is planted there. Drago watches him out of the corner of his eye, turns his head a couple of times, now comes to the plate. Williams fouls it off. It's out of play. A ball and a strike to Billy Williams. And 1961 Rookie of the Year in the National League. Harper, the big lead at first. Drago throws over there, but not in time as Harper dives back again. He's got that lead measured very well. Meanwhile, Billy Williams waits patiently at the plate. Drago looks at first again. Now he comes to the plate. Williams fouls it back. And he had his pitch there, a slider that was up and into it. Now Billy walking around beside the plate. Before he gets set here. Harper moves off at first base. Drago comes set at the belt. Looks over to Cecil Cooper. And throws to Billy Williams. Fly ball, left field, down the line. Yastrzemski with a long run. He can't get it. It's in the seat. Foul. Yastrzemski looked like he was there to make a play on it, but the ball caught the seats about 2 people into the seats. And it just goes as a strike. A ball and 2 strikes to Billy Williams. Drago with a snap throw to first. Then Harper diving back in. He was standing looking at the sign from his catcher and all of a sudden just whipped it over to first base. But Harper was alert. Harper's got a very bold lead at first. He's going to draw another throw, and he's back in time again. Harper has spent a lot of time on his belly, reaching for that little white fellow out there at first. But it's a duel between Drago and Harper now. Harper feels he's got him measured. Drago looks over there again. Here's a pitch to Williams. It's outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the American League Championship Radio Network. Dick Drago working on Billy Williams with a count of 2 balls and 2 strikes. Harper on at first, trying to bother Drago. Here's a pitch to Williams. Struck him out swinging on a high fastball that he threw right by Billy. 1 gone here in the 7th inning at Fenway Park. Home of the bumper. Bumper is what they call a hot dog around here. Billy North stepping in. North is hitless in 3 tries. First time he's facing Drago, of course. He just came into the ball game. The Red Sox lead by a run. Harper on at first base. Drago checks on Harper, comes to the plate, and it's outside, ball 1. Looking in for the sign. The A's in a running situation for their ball club. Right here, there's a throw, and Harper dives back. Reggie Cleveland and Vida Blues started this game. They're long gone. North waiting on Drago. Here's the pitch to him. It's hit and fouled off into the seats by Billy North. In Cincinnati, the score remains 4-1. The Reds leading the Pirates in the 6th inning. Rooker against Norman Perez with a 2-run homer. Harper takes off with a pitch. There's a drive into center field. Lynn has a beat on the ball. He's got it, and they're going to have Harper doubled up easily. As the throw in from Lynn takes 3 hops. Is dropped by Cooper. He picks it up and goes over to the bag and still beats Harper by 45 feet because Tommy was all the way around second on the hit and run. So the Red Sox turn in their second double play of the ball game. It ends the 7th inning. At the end of 6 1/2 innings, the score remains Boston 4, the A's 3. Jim Holt has gone in to play first base for the Oakland A's. Teddy Martinez is in the ballgame to play second. And Gene Tennis moves down behind the plate. He had started the game as the first baseman. So Tennis is behind the plate. Holt at first, Martinez at second, Stampy at short, Bando at third, and on the mound is Raleigh Fingers. Stepping in is Rico Petrocelli. From the sign that Lou DeMuro made down on the field, we would imagine that Holt is hitting in the 8th position and Martinez 9th. They flip-flop the guys when they put him into the ball game in batting order. There's a curve missing. Ball 1. Fingers into his motion, throws and misses outside. 2-0. Sully has fanned, and he is bounced into a double play. The pitch to Rico is in there for a strike. Ball tipped off of his bat as he tried to check his swing. Here's the pitch to Rico, and it whips foul down the left field line. 4 double plays turned in by the A's, and 2 turned in by the Red Sox today. Fingers goes to work. The 2-2 pitch is up high. A fastball that jams Rico. 3-2. The payoff to Petrocelli. High fly ball. Left field. Rudy back. He's back as far as he could go. The ball is off the light tower. A home run for Rico. And the White Sox, or rather the Red Sox, lead it now 5-3. Petrocelli with that patented Fenway Park swing of his lifts one up over the big green monster and adds another run to the Red Sox lead as he gets a joyous treatment when he gets back into the dugout. He disappears into a sea of Red Sox players who mob him. A leadoff homer for Rico. And here's the pitch to Dwight Evans, the curve for a strike. Vida Blue started for the A's. Jim Todd came in to relieve. There's a strike call. 2 strikes on Evans. Todd entered the ball game in the 4th with the score of the A's 3 and Boston 2. And on a double play ball, the tying run came in. Then Fingers came into the ball game with a 3-3 score. And it's now 5-3 as Evans swings at a sidearm curve and misses to strike out. Here's Cecil Cooper. And the A's still have not figured a way to get Cecil Cooper out. He's 2 for 2 in this game, both double. Fingers throws. He's got a curve right across the plate for a strike. Lad starting to throw his fingers. Winds and deals. The pitch is fouled off into the seats in left field. 2 strikes. Cooper, the left-handed hitter, staring out at Raleigh. Here's the pitch. Bounce towards the left side of the infield. Bando has it. He guns his throw and gets Cooper by half a step. Ball was not hit very hard. And it took a while to get to Bando. 2 gone for the Red Sox in home 7th inning, and here's Rick Burleson. The Rooster is 1 for 1. He had a base hit his first time up, then gave himself up on a sacrifice bunt. There's a fastball for a strike. Burleson, a right-handed hitter, goes into an extreme crouch and then raises the bat high above his batting helmet. Whips one down the first base side to Jim Holt, who underhands it to Raleigh Fingers, covering it first, and the side is out. But the leadoff home run by Rico Petrocelli is up on the scoreboard for the run in this inning. We've played 7, and the score is Boston 5, Oakland 3. Here in the dust, Dick Drago goes into the 8th inning, trying to protect a 2-run Red Sox lead. He will have to face the heavy-duty part of the Oakland order here in the 8th. Campy, Bando, and Jackson. The A's came out smoking, got 2 runs in the first on a 2-run homer by Reggie Jackson, added another one in the 4th, and had a 3-0 lead with Vida Blue on the mound going into the bottom of the 4th inning, when the Red Sox came roaring back with 3 runs of their own, 2 on a homer by Carl Yastrzemski. They broke the tie in the 6th inning on a base hit by Carlton Fisk to score Yastrzemski. And then Petrocelli in the 7th homered off Raleigh Fingers for their other run. Here's Campy. The corners of the infield draw in as the pitch comes in up high to the A's shortstop, ball 1. Drago comes to the plate. Campy pops it up left side of the infield. Burleson, the shortstop, backpedaling into the outfield, makes the catch. Sal Bando to the plate, and the captain has had a perfect day. A double and 2 singles, all of them crushed very hard, and all of them off the wall in left field. The 2 singles would have been home runs in Oakland, but this game is not being played in Oakland, so it doesn't matter. Here's a pitch to Bando. Drive hit deep to left again over the head of Yastrzemski, and off the wall. It gets by Yaz this time for the first time, and Bando will go into second with a stand-up double. Yastrzemski, who has played that wall like a violin all day, finally had one come back faster than he was prepared, and it got by him as Yaz was setting to make a throw in. The ball came off and surprised even him. And Bando's on his second with a double. Here is Reggie Jackson, who had 2 runs in 1 swing in the first inning off Reggie Cleveland with a home run into the right field bleachers. He's now hit 5 home runs in championship play, more than any other player. Drago, the right-hander, comes set, lifts at Bando. The pitch to Jackson, one on a miss. He challenged him with a fastball, and Reggie had the home run cut, but didn't get it. Dwight Evans, the right fielder, is very, very deep. The one time they've gotten Jackson out today, he hit the ball very hard to right field. And on a sinking line drive, Evans came in and made a good play to retire Jackson. Drago ready to go. Here's his pitch. Foul back here, out of play. 2 strikes. Jackson steps out, takes a little walk around behind the plate. Jackson, a dramatic ball player with another dramatic home run here when his team really needed it at the start of the game. On the last swing of the season, of the regular season, hit a home run. His second in that ball game to catch George Scott and share the American League home run title this year. 2 strikes on him, though. Here's the pitch from Drago, way outside, almost threw it away. Fisk had to go out and get that one in a hurry. The A's have Bando on at second with 1 out. Bando with 4 hits today. All of them rattled off that wall in left field. 2 singles and 2 doubles. Drago looks at the runner at second, throws, strikes him out with a fastball. Jackson swinging and missing to strike out. And now it's up to Gene Pettis. Jackson beams back into the A's dugout. Gene Pettis to the plate. He has not had a hit in this series. Here's the pitch to him. Slider for a strike called on the outside corner. Gino had 5 home runs of Red Sox pitching this year. 3 of them here in Fenway. Louis Piot and the rest of the Red Sox pitchers have stopped him here in the first 2 games. The A's trail by 2 runs with 2 outs and a runner at second here in the 8th inning. The pitch to Tennis is fouled back. And Drago has 2 strikes on Gino. Drago has not been intimidated by the A's. He has challenged their big hitters. He went after Jackson with his best pitch, the fastball, even though Jackson's been known to lose a lot of fastballs into the seats and outfields around the American League. But he went after him with it anyway and got it. Tennis, a good fastball hitter, is getting fastballs and not doing anything with them except fouling them back. 2 strikes to count on Tennis. Drago set. Throws it wild past Fisk, and Bando will take third with 2 outs. Sonny Siebert starting to throw in the bullpen for the A's. The wild pitch charged to Drago. The fastball took off on him and was way wide, went all the way back to the backstop. So Bando moves over to third, but there are 2 outs. He still cannot come in on an out. And to make a hit, an error, or a wild pitch, something of that nature, for the A's to get that run home. A ball and 2 strikes to Tennis. Drago into his motion, comes sidearm and misses outside. 2-2. Drago dropped way down below the belt that time and threw a curve to Tennis, but missed outside. 2-2. Drago's pitch. Tennis whipped it to left field, but Yastrzemski's there. He makes a running catch, and the inning is over. Dick Drago survives the toughest part of the A's batting lineup, and through 7.5 innings, Boston leads Oakland 5-3. The Red Sox in the driver's seat here in the bottom of the 8th inning as they go to the top of the order, and Juan Benitez. They lead by 2 runs. They're 3 outs away from winning the first 2 games of this series. They've been playing the American League Championship playoff series since 1969, and nobody's ever lost the first 2 games and come back to win the series. There's a strike call to Benitez. Benitez has hit into double plays his last 2 times. The pitch to him, a curve way outside. A ball and a strike. After this ball game, both teams will hop on separate planes and fly west to Oakland, where this series will resume on Tuesday, and we hope you'll join us for the broadcast then. There's a pitch inside. For you Oakland fans, a reminder that playoff tickets are still available for games number 3, and if needed, 4 and 5. They're on sale until 5 o'clock West Coast time today. There's a smash up the middle, base hit for Juan Benitez. Billy North fumbles the ball in center field, but Benitez cannot advance. So the leadoff man is on base for the Red Sox. They have a lead and their best hit-and-run man at the plate. And Denny Doyle. Doyle has been using a dark bat every time he's come to the plate in this series, but he's up there with regular tan-colored bat right now. So he switched his lumber. The pitch, he squares the bunt, takes the pitch up high, ball 1. But imagine that was something of a decoy move by Doyle, who likes to bunt at the first pitch and then swing away on the next one on a hit and run. Go to first and going back in a hurry is Benitez. Here's the pitch. pitch. He squares the bunt. Bunts it. Wally Fingers falls down. Jim Holt picks up the ball and gets the runner at first as the sacrifice works. Fingers slipped and fell as he came off the mound. And Jim Holt, who was hustling all the way. A standing ovation now for Carl Yastrzemski. One of many he's received here today, and certainly on merit. The sacrifice by Doyle for the first out of the inning, moving Benitez to second base. It's an alert play by Jim Holt, who went in and got the ball after Fingers fell down, and Teddy Martinez covered it first. And they're going to take the bat out of Yastrzemski's hand, and who can blame you? They're going to give him an intentional walk. He has a homer and a double, has scored 2 runs, been driven in 2 today. So with 1 out, Yastrzemski will be on at first, and the A's will be looking for another double play. They've turned in 4. There's ball 4 now to Yastrzemski. And the walk is completed. That's the first walk off Oakland pitching, and it's intentional. Red Sox pitching is allowed just 2 walks today. A sharply played ball game here today by both teams, in contrast to yesterday's affair. Lindblad and Monson are warming up as Fisk steps in. Bill Lee, a left-hander throwing for Oakland, or for Boston, and Boston also has a right-hander up. We'll check on his number and tell you who that is in a minute. Bullpens are in deep right center field. Wally Fingers ready to work on Carlton Fisk. Pickoff play at second, and they just missed it. Martinez jumps up and down in the air as he puts the tag on Juan Benitez, but puts it on him late. Fingers just turned and whipped one right on the money at second base. But Benitez was alert enough to get back inside. Now they've cut down his lead severely at second base. Fingers throws and gets a strike on a high slider. Fisk has 2 hits. He drove in the tie-breaking run, and he has also scored a run. Jim Willoughby is the right-hander warming up for Boston, along with Bill Lee. Here's the pitch is in the dirt, and Tennis dives out to his right to stop the ball. A ball and a strike. The wind, which was blowing across field from right to left, is now switched and is blowing out towards that wall in left field. Here's the ball, strike pitch. Pitch swings and misses. Tried to hold up on a Wally Fingers curveball, but couldn't stop his swing in time. He went around. A ball and 2 strikes. Is turning into night here in a hurry. Lights are twinkling on all over Boston. The ball 2 strike pitch is fouled down at the plate, and then it hops back up and hits Fisk on, looks like a leg. Walks around a little bit, but he's all right. Red Sox have Benitez at second base. Yastrzemski at first. 1 out. And they lead by 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning. Wally Fingers came into the ball game in the 5th inning with nobody out and has been in there ever since. Throws sidearm to Fisk and strikes him out swinging. The buzzer dropped down sidearm. Came by way of third base with a curveball, and Fisk goes fooled on the pitch. Now here's Fred Lynn. Lynn 1 for 3, had a base hit. The base hit that got Vida Blue out of the ball game back in the 4th inning. In the 6th, he bounced into a double play to end that inning. 11 hits for Boston. 9 for the A's. Raleigh takes a look at the runner at second. Benitez throws. Lynn rips it foul. A hard shot. Very foul down the right field line. They've got a ball boy here that sits right down that right field line. He saw that one coming and showed that he is a thinking person. He got out of the way in a hurry and let it hit the wall and then tried to make a play on it. Here's the shot to Lynn. It's up high. 1-1. Jim Holt, the first baseman, playing deep and about one step off the line. The pitch to Lynn. Check swing. Blooper headed towards left. It's in there for a base hit. Rudy charges, jumps up, throwing to the plate, and it's too late. A run scores. Freddie Lynn checks his swing. Got a pitch he started to swing at, then changed his line. The ball hit his bat and blooped into left field. Benitez running hard. Came around to score, and the Red Sox have an imposing 3-run lead in the bottom of the 8th, and the inning is still going. The Red Sox, who have not won the American League pennant since 1967, are drawing closer and closer with each pitch. They won the first game, and if they win this one, the A's would have to win 3 in a row to deny them that pennant. Fingers throws a curveball to Rico Petrocelli for strike 1. Rico had a home run to open the 7th inning, and the home run came off. Raleigh Fingers. The pitch is in the dirt. Yastrzemski getting a very big lead at second base on Raleigh Fingers. Raleigh's sidearm hook is swung on and missed. A ball and 2 strikes to Rico. Martinez, the second baseman, bouncing around behind the bag, trying to cut down on Yaz's lead. Fingers comes sidearm again and strikes out Rico looking. Left him standing there. And left 2 runners on base. But the damage is done. A big run for the Red Sox here in the bottom of the 8th. Through 8 innings, the score is Boston 6 and Oakland 3. This is Bob Waller with Monty Moore at Fenway Park, where the fans are singing. They're singing "So Long, Charlie" for A's owner Charlie Finley, who stands up and waves to the crowd after the bit of singing sarcasm directed to him. Charlie, with a big smile, stands up in his front row seat and waves to the crowd, and they react to that with an ovation. For the Red Sox, they are 3 outs away from taking a commanding, almost unbeatable 2-game lead in a 5-game series, the best of 5-game series. If they win here, they would have to win only 1 more game somewhere along the way in Oakland to be the American League champions and prevent the A's from going after their 4th World Series victory. It's down to Joe Rudy, Claudell Washington, and Jim Holt in the 9th against Drago. His first pitch to Rudy is drilled to right field. Lynn in a hurry back there in deep center field makes the catch. Rudy hits the ball hard, but he hit it in the biggest part of the ballpark. And Lynn, a fine defensive outfielder, was on it all the way. So there's 1 gone. Drago 2 outs away from winning this ball game. So victory would go to Roger Moret, who pitched the 6th inning. He's the pitcher of record. Claudell is 1 for 3 in this ball game. He drove in a run with a double. Drago throws a little blooper headed towards left. Burleson in a hurry, dives, it's off his glove, and Washington's on at first. Good effort by Burleson, who's down on one knee. He dove for that ball running towards the left field corner from his shortstop position. Yastrzemski did not have a play on it. It was Burleson's all the way, and it's remarkable that he even got to the ball. He got a glove on it, and it kicked off. Burleson now walking back towards the shortstop position, and he's waving the trainer and the manager back to the dugout. But they want to make sure he's all right. He hit hard. He was stretched all the way out, trying for the ball. Landed on his stomach. And may have had the wind shaken loose a little bit. But he'll stay in the ball game. For the A's, they now have a base runner. But they need more than one base runner because they trail by 3 runs, and they're down to their last 2 outs. As Jim Holt steps in. Pepe Tovar has just run in from the bullpen. He would be available to hit for Martinez, who is not in the on-deck circle. Nobody is at the moment. Tovar was in the bullpen. Here's the pitch to Holt. He fouls it right back here. And Cesar Pepe Tovar is indeed walking out of the A's dugout, bat in hand, and into the on-deck circle. Drago, the veteran right-hander from Toledo, Ohio, kicks and throws. There's a drive hit deep to center field. Lynn's on the run. He is there. What a catch. Washington's around second. Here's a throw back towards first. He'll make it. Burleson dropped the relay throw. Jim Holt hit that ball a long way. With Lynn playing him in left center, he had to go all the way over to right center field and make the catch deep in right center, which he did. So now here is Pepe Tovar. Right-handed hitter. Little guy makes contact, sprays the ball around. They move Evans in right field. He can hit the ball there. In this ballpark, he could put it out. Washington has a 2-step lead at first base as the pitch comes into Tovar. Called strike at the knees. Tovar was acquired right before the September 1st deadline for postseason play. He swings and fouls the pitch off. And now, Dick Drago is 1 strike away from wrapping up the second game of the American League Championship Series. 2 strikes on Pepe Tovar. If the A's are to have a chance, Tovar must get on, and he's down in the count. 2 strikes to nothing. There are 2 outs in the top of the ninth. Washington on at first. Drago's pitch. Bouncing ball. The shortstop Burleson has it. Flips to second base. The Red Sox have won. A good play by Burleson. And the Red Sox win this ball game. They are 2-0 in a best-of-3 series, and the fans race out onto the field, beat the security men out there as the Red Sox hustle for cover into their own dugout. Dick Drago with an outstanding relief performance. But Carl Yastrzemski, with a game that should be carved out and put in a time capsule, has helped lead the Red Sox to victory.